Who even cleared Lindsey Vonn to be out there in the first place? Let's talk about informed consent and autonomy in the medical settings, and this is going to make a whole lot of people mad. But my only request is that you just please listen to the entire video first and then decide if you're still mad at the end of it. Thank you so much. So Lindsey Vonn's a downhill skier. She has had a decorated career. She's still doing phenomenally even with her recent injury, and we'll get to that in a second. She's 41 and in incredible shape, no less, but that does play into why I think she actually chose to compete. But about a week and a half ago, she was doing one of the training runs for the Olympics. She was representing Team USA. Team USA, nailing team, ice dancing. Back to Lindsey, I digress. But Lindsey had an accident about a week and a half ago and tore her ACL. I think it was on her left leg based off of which one was bigger when she did her training run. And for whatever the conversations were in the background, and I'm going to go into what I think they were, she showed up yesterday to do a training run on the thing with her torn ACL, just beep, beep, wrapped up, and hey, you should be good to go. My sphincter was puckered the entire time I was watching that run, but she finished, and she finished third, actually, I think, with a torn ACL. Like, she's that good. But in her actual competitive run this morning, she had another accident and was airlifted off the slope. The thing that I keep saying over and over again is who cleared her, who cleared her, who cleared her? Well, that's what happens when you have a torn ACL. I'm sure that having a wonky knee didn't make anything better, but what I've seen thus far is that this fall didn't have anything to do with her knee. But even if it did, the piece about informed consent and autonomy is that informed consent includes the right to make decisions that other people don't necessarily agree with. It includes the right to refuse interventions and refuse treatment. And the key piece of both informed consent and informed refusal is that the patient, the person whose body it is the one who has to deal with the consequences, and they are the one that gets to have the ultimate say. What I imagined happened in my head was Lindsey sat down with her entire team, including all of her care providers and her coaches, and said, okay, let's talk through best case scenario and worst case scenario. And I'm sure best case scenario was, hey, well, we'll pack it up. You do your runs, you win first place, and you go about your business, best case scenario. And then they treat it as though they would have treated it anyway. I'm sure they looked at her and said, worst case scenario, you're going to do significantly more damage that is not repairable, and you probably will lose your leg. To which, if she's as competitive as I think she is, she probably sat there and thought, well, nail the Paralympics next, that's fine. But for whatever reason and however it shook out, she made the decision to go out there. No doctor gave her permission to do it or not do it. She's an adult. She's allowed to make her own decisions, even when those are decisions that other people don't necessarily agree with. Because at the end of the day, nobody has to live with the consequences of her choices and decisions other than her. And at 41 years old, if the answer is, I've got one last Olympics run, I'm a week out, I think I can do it, and I'm okay with whatever the consequences are either way. She's had a great career. Maybe this was a decision that she was okay making of, okay, well, if this is career ending, then she's going to end it. You know what I mean? That's her decision to make and no one else's.